Hey, what is up? Welcome to the Strategy Wednesday episode of the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast. As always, I'm your host, Brian Lofermento. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the one thing that you have to hold yourself accountable to if you want to make money as an entrepreneur. If you do this, I promise you'll start making more money. I'm excited about this one. Let's dive in. Let's face it, as entrepreneurs, there's so many things that we have to do when it comes to growing our business. And there's so many things that are sexy to do, that are fun to do. And there's also a lot of things that are not so fun to do and not so sexy to do. And it's funny because not always are those two lists aligned with a list of what's most important when it comes to you actually growing your business. So every single month is fun for me. The start of every month is fun for me because inside the Launch Coalition, inside our community of entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs, I get to choose what our monthly challenge is going to be. And it's slightly difficult for me, I will admit, because every single month I have to ask myself the question of what does every single entrepreneur need that's going to apply universally across the board that actually moves their businesses forward. So we've got some people who have online businesses, we've got some people who sell online courses, we've got service-based businesses, we've got book authors, we have people in all different industries, people in all different business models, all different business types, but at the root of it, and you are a keen listener of the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast, you know how firmly I believe this. At the root of all of these businesses are just 6 ingredients. Those 6 ingredients make up every single successful business on the planet, from pizza shops to New York Times bestselling authors to service-based agencies to coaches to massage therapists to literally everybody under the sun. If you want to be successful, you need these 6 key ingredients. I'm not going to talk your ear off about those 6 key ingredients today because I recently did a podcast episode about it. So make sure you're caught up to all the recent podcast episodes. But I am going to hone in on the ingredient that's second from top on the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur pyramid. It's the one thing that's not sexy, that's not fun to do, but coincidentally, it happens to be the one thing that drives your business forward, that actually results in business growth and profit, which, let's face it, every single one of us is doing our business in order to make a profit. Whether you're not for profit or a for-profit, the common denominator between all businesses is you have to be bringing money in, you have to be generating revenue, because even if you're not for profit, if you don't have any money coming in, you don't have any impact. So it's really important that you have money coming in. And all too often, we forget about that one ingredient, which is sales. Sales. It's going to be the topic of the month. It's this month's challenge inside the Launch Coalition. So if you have been looking for a community of like-minded entrepreneurs to grow with, to share with, to collaborate with, to learn from, to do everything with, to really go on this entrepreneurial path that you're not alone, check out the Launch Coalition at launchcoalition.com. It's launchcoalition.com. Super easy to remember. And it is this month's challenge. So I'm going to share it with you here on today's Strategy Wednesday episode. And the one thing that you have to hold yourself accountable to this month is pitching your products and services. Now, I feel like, and I'm slightly guilty of this, I feel like I don't talk about this often enough on the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast. You have to be pitching. You have to be offering your products or services to people. You have to be selling. All I have to do is ask you, how many people did you offer your products and services to last month? And I'll have a slight idea of how much money you made last month. And to go along those lines, it's direct correlation. I know that if you pitch your products and services to more people this month, then you'll make more money than you did last month. It's a really simple concept. Offer your stuff to more people and you will make more money. But for some reason, we don't do that as entrepreneurs. And that's why today's episode, today's challenge, or this month's challenge inside the Launch Coalition is to start pitching your products and services more. Now, for me, for example, so I have thousands of people on my email list, which is a huge luxury. I love my email list. I love hearing from people on my email list. I love serving people who are on my email list. Now, the email list is one of my business's biggest assets. I can email my list with a new product or a service, or even an an existing product or a service and sell it to them. I can pitch it to them. I can at the same time tell thousands of people, hey, here's what I have to offer you. Click here and buy it. It's a huge luxury. But even then, I am not always consistent at selling to my email list because for a million different reasons we could go into, because I'm traveling or because I'm working on something new or because I've got this going on in my business or I'm planning on a future launch or all these different things. So even a month could go by and I haven't pitched my email list anything for them to buy. And what ultimately happens at the month's end, when I go through my business metrics, I think to myself, my gosh, if I just pitched my email list, that could have been $10, $20, $30, $40,000 extra in revenue if I had sold something to my email list this month. If all I did was pitched to them. Now, obviously, I don't want to be the guy who's always pitching people, which is why I'm not constantly promoting to my email list. I mix in value, I mix in stories, I mix in free ebooks, I mix in free value in different ways, videos, like if you're watching this podcast episode on YouTube, videos like these ones. It's really important for me to do those other things, and I get it, we all fall into that trap, but ultimately, you need to hold yourself accountable to also be pitching. Some marketers like to call it launching. Whether you're launching an old product or launching a new product, you need to be pitching to people. If you're a service-based business, you need to be talking to potential customers and clients, getting them to the proposal phase and asking them for money. If you're not asking people for money, then you're not making money as an entrepreneur. I always tell people it's one of the most important numbers we can keep track of as entrepreneurs is how many people did I actually offer my product or service to this month? How many people did I ask for money from? If you asked 0 people to buy from you, chances are you made $0. Now, for me, I want to always be pitching, and it's going to be my biggest push in Q4. If you're on my email list, trust me, this means I'm going to be sending you some incredibly valuable, game-changing things that you can purchase, which will transform your entrepreneurial journey for you. So I will be pitching a lot more in Q4. You're going to see it here on the podcast. You're going to see it on my YouTube channel. You're going to see it on my email list. You're going to see it on Facebook ads. If you're in my ecosystem, chances are I've cookied you, and hopefully you start seeing my ads a lot more on Facebook in Q4 because this is my focus. I know that if I want to make more money as an entrepreneur, I need to be pitching more. Now, all of this is my invitation to you to take me up on this challenge this month. Whether you think about pitching frequently or not, this month, this quarter, to close out 2020, it is your responsibility to be pitching to more people. Forget all the other things you're working on. Quite frankly, very few things need to be in place for you to start pitching people. Even if you've got an online course, which is kind of an infrastructurally or foundational strong in the word I'm looking for is infrastructure intensive business. If you're selling an online course, you need a sales page, you need a checkout form for people to buy the course, you need the actual course, you need the videos, you need a course platform where you're going to deliver the course and create people's login accounts. There's a lot of things that go into an online course. So if you're tricking yourself into believing, well, Brian, yeah, I'll start pitching people when the course is ready. No, start pitching them. Start making money. That is the entire purpose of this week's Strategy Wednesday episode. I'm telling you, hit up people who you know would benefit from your course. If you've got a course about how to find more podcast advertisers, I don't know why that's the example I came up with today, but if that's what your online course is about, start hitting up podcasters and say, hey, when it launches, it's going to be $197. It's not ready yet. I want you to be in on it. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to shape what's inside the course. Here's your chance to get in at a complete no-brainer of a price. $47. You're going to have lifetime access. I'm also bringing in these speakers. I'm doing a case study on this podcast, which is making $100,000 a month. I'm going to do all this for you. Start pitching it. Start making money from it. It's such an important concept. If you have a service-based business, talk to people, hit people up on LinkedIn. I recently did a Featured Friday episode with Michael Kittinger here on the podcast where he talked about just completely cold outreach to your ideal customers and clients on LinkedIn. So go listen to that episode. Go listen to Michael's example of what a great cold outreach looks like. You have no excuse to not be pitching this month. Literally, that's what it comes down to. If I could sum up this entire episode in one 10-second soundbite. It would be, you have no reason to not be pitching your products or services. Whatever it is that you sell, you need to be offering it to people in order to sell it. And if you're not selling it, you're not actually making money as an entrepreneur. So that's my challenge to you this week with this Strategy Wednesday episode. That's my challenge to you this month. Inside this month's Launch Coalition Challenge is pitch, pitch, pitch. Start offering people your products and services. I don't care what stage of business you're at. Every single business will benefit by pitching. If you have any questions for me or you want to see me go deeper in this topic, don't be shy. Drop me an email. My direct email address is hello@imetbrian.com. Now that you've met me on the podcast, hello@imetbrian.com. Super simple. And if you are looking for your community of like-minded entrepreneurs, don't be shy. This episode is brought to you by the Launch Coalition, a community of entrepreneurs who believe in collaborating, in sharing, in growing, in learning together, asking each other questions, sharing what's working, sharing what's not working, doing these monthly challenges together, guest experts who come speak to the coalition every single month. So if you do want to find your community of entrepreneurs, don't go on this journey alone. Go to launchcoalition.com. We'd love to see you there. Otherwise, as always, I'll see you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast.